I'm of the old school. If you rely on social media or television or radio to win the hearts and minds of the voters, you are making a terrible mistake. You have got to get out. You've got to organize every possible way, not only in counties and cities and going through courthouses and city halls. Those are people who vote. But I contacted every person who had worked at the polling places in like the last 10 years. I was able to get their names and addresses, wrote them all a letter, whether they were Democrats or Republicans, and asked them to support me. Again, my point is, it's going to take a lot of hard work from the candidate, good organization, and follow through on things like social media and television and radio.
Darius, I want to talk to you about the power of social media. You're Gen Z, I'm Gen Z. Where are our people getting our information from?
Oh, nowhere. That's probably the problem. So, we heard this old podcast revolution where everyone's getting all their news from podcasts and TikTok and influencers, which is fine, right? But here's the thing too, everything else that's like reputable is behind a paywall. I'm not saying they don't have to get paid or they don't need anything, but Fox News is free. You can probably go and get any sort of Breitbart news anywhere you want in the world. So it's hard to get good information. People also aren't talking to each other. Your social media is algorithmic, so you're only getting fed the things that you like and I've interacted with and you've proven that you want to see. So we're sort of all in silos, our own little mini silos, like 335 million silos on our social medias. And so that's one of the big things where you have to go and meet people. You have to go talk to people. Social media is an important tool. You might have 5,000 likes on your post for your event and then 3 people show up. It still can happen. You've got to go out, meet people, talk to people, make connections. You want to make sure that you talk to that person. It used to be that you could go to any grocery store in your district and shake hands and talk to people. We look at the Iowa caucuses every 4 years and they're going to fairs and all that stuff. We don't really do that here. We don't really interact with politicians or leaders or, sometimes they're not even expected to do that. So I think that's also important. You want to do social media, but you want to actually be active.
Do you feel like because of how inaccessible true information is right now that MAGA has that I don't know the word, the advantage when it comes to Gen Z voters, right?
Yeah, I think that. And then also, when you grow up in a world where they're telling you one story, it's hard to sort of say, okay, well, this is the actual truth, because they're telling you that they're going to tell you this and they're going to tell you that, and sort of then we come in and we say that, and then it's like, okay, well, where do we go from here?
So April, you worked on 1 million campaigns, and 1,000,001 have won every single one of them. What do you think can be done to fix the messaging problem that I'm sure you've heard people are saying the Democrats have right now?
We don't have a message. Feel like we all agree on that. And it's difficult. It's difficult because we are in a large ship with a lot of different minds, a lot of different viewpoints. And I believe that's why the Republicans succeed. They are in one ship and they don't want to hear anybody else's opinions, and they go with, whatever they've decided to go with, and everybody else kind of just sits down. And we're not like that. We care about people, we care about people's opinions, but I think we need to take a play in their playbook. And I was just telling someone, it's kind of like a football team. You have your first, what is it? Your first players? First string. Then you have your second string and third string.
We were in Alabama.
Wrong time.
That's something that we should know.
I knew it 3 seconds ago, I promise. But we have to learn that it's okay to be on that third string. We may just be the one making phone calls, or we may just be the one knocking on doors, talking to people in the supermarkets. And we have to make that okay. I come from a Mexican family. If someone that's supporting me is not screaming about how, Mexican rights, that's going to be okay, because we're going to get there. We're going to get there, right? We need to take it back to kitchen table issues. If you look at most people's biggest issue of the economy, that's Democrat and Republican. So I think the biggest thing is we need to take our messaging and really hone in on those top issues. We care about everybody. Nobody's saying we're not, but we need to really focus. We lack focus. And so I think that we really need to take it back to that when it comes to our messaging, and be okay with it not being focused on yourself, on your own desire, kind of take a seat. I've taken a seat for many years, being a Mexican in the state of Alabama. And that's fine. I'm gonna play my part. And I believe it's like a puzzle. We're all kind of building the puzzle together. If we're all trying to put the same piece in, we can't, right? And so I think we have to really look back on our messaging and come together and say, okay, well, it's not exactly what I want, but I'm okay with it. It doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's what we're gonna do right now.
And we definitely saw that, right? You can clap for that.